First, as always, we want to give honor to the Most High God, the great God that keepeth covenants and mercies for them that love him and observe his commandments. Right? Then to his son, who is our prince, our savior, our apostle, our king, our high priest, the true shepherd, but ultimately whom the Most High used to reconcile us back to himself, we thank God for his son. Right? Then to everybody that's with us, elders, mothers, brothers, sisters, children, those that are watching online through YouTube. As the scripture says, all the partakers of the heavenly calling, we thank God for each and every one of you. All right. So, beloved, we're going to jump right into our chapter. All right. Our chapter, which is in Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach. All right. Chapter 11. Chapter 11. Okay. And as always, if you do have something, you can bring it out. If you do have something, you can bring it out. You do not have to wait for me, right? Like I got one or two spots I want to go to in the beginning. Okay. All right. Chapter 11, and we start at verse 1. Wisdom lifteth up the head of him that is of a low degree, and maketh him to sit among great men. Commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance. Okay. So wisdom lifteth up the head of him that is of a low degree. Okay. So somebody that's of low degree, looked at, kind of lower, right? Wisdom can lift you up. Wisdom can lift you up. All right. And this is why we obtain wisdom, because wisdom give us favor. All right. Even those that we might deem ourselves as low or low in the society, wisdom can lift you up. Wisdom can give you favor. All right. But that comes ultimately from what? The Most High God. All right. And he maketh him to sit among great men. All right. He is who can elevate you. You want to be elevated, you need to obtain wisdom. Okay. And it says, commend not a man for his beauty. This is not meaning you can't say somebody, oh, you look nice, handsome, right? All right, but you have to be mindful of not just compliments, flattery and things of that nature, because sometimes, beloved, in this flesh, we can't handle certain things. All right. Neither abhor a man for his outward appearance. All right. So he's saying, commend him not for his beauty, but also don't hate the man. All right, for their outward appearance. All right, that they look nice. Because what do you see a lot of times? You'll see a lot of people with flattery, and then you'll see people go the other extreme and doing what? Hating somebody, right? Oh, they think they all that, right? I would say sisters, but brothers do stuff like that too, right? She thinks she cute. She thinks she this and this. And all the sister was, she just came in the door and looked nice, and you had, the first thing that came was the hatred and tearing down, right? And we have to challenge that. That comes in our mind, right? We have to fight that thing. That's how change happens. Things going to pop up. You have to fight it. And the more you fight it, the more power we'll have in your mind. All right. But when that thing comes into your spirit, what you should combat it with is no, she does look nice. She does it. Maybe I should go and tell her she looks nice. Right. But that other spirit always want to, downplay and tear somebody down. So we have to make sure we always being mindful and fighting those things. All right. So we don't want to hate nobody for their appearance. All right. Verse 3. The bee is little among such a fly, but her fruit is the chief of sweet things. All right. So among the animals that fly, right, a bee is one of the small ones, right? All right. But he's saying, but it's sweetness. They provide something that's so sweet, or fruits, right? Which is the honey. Boast not of the clothing and raiment, and exalt not thyself in the day of honor. For the works of the Lord are wonderful, and his work among men are hidden. Okay. So don't boast not of thy clothing and raiment. Okay. Don't boast about all the things you have, all the things that you particularly makes you think you beautified and things of that nature and avails you above others. All right. So that shouldn't be your boast, beloved. Now, can you be happy about something you have and be, yes, right? I mean, you can't get something nice to be happy, but don't boast in it. Don't put more than this. It's just a nice outfit. All right. Don't think now because I'm wearing this, I'm higher than this person, right? I'm over this person, or I'm just more righteous than this person because of my clothing and raiment. All right. So don't exalt yourself. All right. For the works, all right, of the Lord are wonderful, and his works among men are hidden. All right. We don't know the fullness of things. All right. Sometimes when we're boasting, we're exalting, guess what? The next day, it could be a day of humbling. So this is why we don't want to be cocky or anything like that. We don't want to overly boast because we don't know what tomorrow may bring. All right. And sometimes you boast so much that now, when maybe it's a humbling experience, you done got filled up with so much pride, right? Got filled up with all this pride. And now what? When you go through them times, them troublous times, a lot of people, they can't handle it. They'll do some evil things to maintain that status of looking like they have it, right? You see some people, they're making, maybe they have an abundance of money and things of that nature. Then maybe they, whatever circumstance, they might lose their job or something, come through a hardship, and then they'll still try to, you know, put themselves more and more in debt to what? Appear to other people that everything is all right. I'm still, I'm still top dog and all that kind of stuff, while they're what, trying to maintain this and burn themselves out. But somebody that's humble, if the clothing and everything and being that kind of status didn't make you, when you're going through something, you can be transparent with it. You don't have to burn yourself out and try to paint this facade upon that everything's is perfect and everything. No, we don't walk like that, beloved. We think if we get blessed with money with many things, we thank the Most High God for it. If we lose it, we thank the Most High God. Our minds we should always be sober minded with whatever condition or predicament that we're in. All right. Verse 5. Many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of have worn the crown. All right. So many, when you talk about the many kings sat down upon the ground, a lot of kings have been humbled, right? Whether they literally been humbled to the ground or even get killed. All right. One of the examples that come to my mind is Nebuchadnezzar, right? Literally was humbled to almost like a beast in the field, that right? He was the highest of highs, getting all cocky, saying, who's above me? I'm like the most high and all these kind of things. But what? He got humbled down. Okay. Now he didn't lose his crown right then and there, but there's a lot of people, right? There's a lot of people that went and got humbled, right? Many kings that got humbled. And then the person that wasn't even supposed to be king or supposed to avail or whatever, those people came and replaced them. Okay. Verse 6. Many mighty men have been greatly disgraced, and the honorable delivered into other men's hands. Okay. So he's using this thing of, the mighty, the great, and all these kind of people that's high above, they have been humbled greatly. All right. So the scriptures deal with both sides, right? Because sometimes you can go too far to the right, too far to the left. All right. Sometimes you can go through such a state where it feel like you're cursed and everything you're doing is just nothing's working out well, and you want to forget God, right? Then you go to the other extreme where you have everything, where you're like, I don't need God. All right. So this is why the Spirit is going to keep us neutral and grounded, right? That's what the Spirit is going to keep you grounded. All right, that you don't forget God. All right. Anybody got anything before? Sorry, we move on. Anybody got anything? All right. Verse 7. Verse 7. Listen. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first and then rebuke. All right. This might be one of my 10-minute when I do my little 10-minute lessons. All right. Blame not before thou hast examined. Listen, examine the truth. All right. That's taking diligence. That's really seeing what the matter is dealing with. We have to do this, beloved. This is why the world's so messed up, because nobody examined the truth. They blame, and then If the truth come out later, oh, okay, yeah, well, they sometimes they're gonna tell you it was a mistake or anything. Oh, okay, well, I was wrong, right? No, blame not before you examine the truth. So if you're not willing, this is spirit. If you're not willing to examine to see if something's the truth, then don't throw out the blame. Don't throw out the stones. If you're not willing to understand the matter, then and you don't want to understand it, you don't want to put the energy and effort to understand something, then don't be on the mountaintop trying to rebuke or correct something you didn't even put the energy to understand. It's showing you a spirit, beloved. This is the spirit that's going out to the world. And a lot of things can be solved if just people understood this verse. Because what happens, a lot of people like to jump on bandwagons. When somebody's hating somebody, you'll have spirits that just want to flock on it. You don't even know nothing about this person, but spirits want to flock on it and just put their mouths on these things. You heard something bad. Oh, yep. Yep, that's what they get. This is what they deserve. Yep, God's getting them. You don't know. You hear something in the news. 1 minute you saying this world and this news is corrupt. You can't trust it. And then the next minute you hear something, you ready to run tell that to everybody. And then if you find out it's wrong, guess what you don't do? You don't run tell and tell everybody that you were wrong and I'm sorry. Truth is very, very important. Something to be cherished. And as children of God, we hold the truth. Not just in the scriptures, truth is a spirit. Our spirit have to be conformed to this. So with anything, if you not, it's okay. Listen, beloved, we don't always have to have our 2 cents on everything as well. So to realize you have the right to remain silent on things. Don't let people boost you up to say something, and then guess what? Now they have you out there, and blaming you, and you be like, dang, I'm in the middle of something I had nothing to do with. Because you had to go out there and open your mouth with it. Okay? Sometimes it's easy just to say, when somebody says, okay, well, maybe we need to pray or maybe fast for that. And see how many people will want to bring garbage to you. And also that builds the reputation. When people say, oh, I talked to sister so-and-so and blah, blah. Nah, sister so-and-so she don't even deal like that. I know she's going to say, we pray for them, I would fast for them. You see how we'll cut things out. We'll get that devil that try to move around in the congregation. We'll start chopping them up. You're like, you know what? I don't like this place. Let me get out of here. It ain't fun. I can't do my work in here. I can't spread the discord. I can't spread the murmuring in this place because we all doing the things of the scriptures, and it purges those things out. Okay, we have the power to purge that devil out where it will flee from us if we do the instructions correctly. Right? Matter of fact, I have some for verse 7 real quick. Let's go to Deuteronomy 13. We can do a lesson on verse 7, right? But there's some good stuff in here, so I know I'm not going to be putting precepts. So this is Deuteronomy 13 and verse 13. Okay? Deuteronomy 13 and verse 13. I'm going to start from verse 12. Sorry. If thou shalt hear in one of thy cities, which Yahweh thy God have given thee to dwell there, saying, certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods which ye have not known. Right? So he's saying, you go into a city, people dwelling there, and men, the children of Belial, are going out from among you, right? And they're saying, let us go and serve other gods. Let's see how you should handle this. Verse 14. Then shalt thou inquire. You got to what? Inquire. And make search. And ask diligently. You got to investigate. Okay? And behold, if it be true, what be true? If this is true, we find out those men and everything were saying, let's go out and, serve other gods, which we don't know about, other gods other than Lord. You find it out, you search out, it's true, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought among you, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city. So then you go and destroy them. Why do we need to search diligently? Because there's no reverse once you kill somebody. All right. But sometimes there's no reverse for when you throw out certain things that's damaging and hurtful, even after forgiveness. Sometimes you still, you forget the person, but that flesh still want to be like, hey, remember they did that, right? You remember that hurt. So we have to be so mindful. And Brother Floyd, before he got some sayings. So my cousin, he will say you can't unscramble the egg, right? Once you crack the egg, you can't put it back, right? Once you scramble, you can't get it back to the form of the egg or what it was. And this is how we have to look at it when we're going out doing things and being offensive and things of that nature. Sometimes you can't bring it back to what it was. Even though you can ask for that forgiveness, whatever, but still sometimes the damage is kind of done out there. Okay. So before we do anything, before you make an action, you got to search diligently. And this is so important. I know I talked to, the board, people on the board about it, but it's so important. Definitely when you're dealing with judgment and things of that nature, right? Parenting, all those things, you have to really, really take your time. Don't just take what people say. I'm telling you, there are some convincing people, beloved. There are some convincing people, and sometimes they'll present it, you be like, that gotta be the truth. And sometimes it'll be a full blatant lie. And if you just acted on what they just told, man, make a mistake. Sometimes not intentionally or willingly you're trying to do it, but even unintentionally, it still can hurt. All right. And y'all hear, but the guy does it too. Like, some people they come with a sob story. Some people he say try to fleece the flock, as he said, right? Some people always got a story. They'll bring some sob story, and you ain't in the spirit. Sometimes you just can be deceived. You can be tricked. Okay. All right. Let's go back to Ecclesiasticus. I think I got another one for verse 8. Yeah. So blame not before thou examine the truth. Understand first and then rebuke. Okay, so that makes judgment righteous. All right, you don't come to court and just saying, "Well, this person's wrong. Why I feel they're wrong." Okay, that's your feeling, but we don't move just on feelings or emotions. What they say, you need evidence. What's your evidence? Bring me your proof. So we need. Okay, so as we get more and more mature and grow in this thing, beloved, and I'm saying that people and things of that nature, some people don't like that, but you have to respect the what. This is how we got to move. You make way more damage not examining something than just casting out judgments and things from what people say and what people allude to and all that thing. No, we can't move like that. All right. Verse 8. Answer not before thou hast heard the cause, neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk. Okay, so you want to answer not before you heard it, and that's wisdom, beloved. Some people they about to say something, right? Maybe establish their point of view, and you ready to what? Sometimes you don't even hear the cause, and sometimes when somebody don't hear it because how they answer, you be like, I know you didn't hear what I just said. And a lot of times, I know me, I use it a lot, and definitely dealing with, the field of work I deal with, right? Even some of my clients, I have to repeat because sometimes they got something in their mind, they're not even hearing what I'm saying. And when they answer, I'm like, you didn't hear what I said. So now I say, can you repeat what I said so we can understand it? Well, I don't know exactly what you said, but I'm just see you didn't even care to hear what I said, right? And this is why another spirit with it, beloved. Definitely, when you're dealing with relations, I like throw that in there as well, right? If my partner opens her mouth and I'm ready to what? I'm not hearing that. Or I'm always ready to cut her off. I'm saying that your point, I don't need to hear you, but I don't even value what you're saying. My thought and my sense overpowers yours. It don't even matter what you're saying. I'm dismissing it. And that can be what? Offensive. You don't even respect me enough to, even if I'm wrong, let me get it out, and then you can do the correction. But you don't even have the decorum to wait to hear it and then rebuke. Okay. Now somebody's doing if you have a little conversation, they doing a 5-hour speech every time. Now that's different. But you want to hear a matter and then correct it. So answer not before thou hast heard the cause, neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk. Okay. So we want to when we're having dialogue, you want to give somebody the floor, then you stop, let them go, stop, let them go. All right. Even Paul's saying that when he talk about prophesying, he's saying, let it be like 2 or 3. And he said, by course. Okay. By course. This person go, we're quiet while this person talking. All right. They stop. Now this person can talk. All right. It's order and decency. Okay. So I say the scriptures teach us how to do a lot of things. All right. Even how to converse. All right. I said I had something for this, didn't I? Make sure. Let's go to Proverbs 18 and verse 13. If you have some, beloved, like I said, you can either get off of mute or put something in the chat or put your hand up, all right, to get my attention. This might be, I think it's the last one for me. So this is Proverb 18 and verse 13, right? This will be the last one. 18 and verse 13. He that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him. Okay? Folly and shame unto you. So, because some people are like, oh, they're popular, but they don't see it about. I'm just showing you it's still the same. It's giving me the same stuff. All right. So if you answer a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him. All right. Because that shows who you are if you didn't even hear the matter. A fool just says stuff and don't what? They don't think about it. They're not, a fool just utter whatever's on his mind and brain. He don't have to have sense behind it. If you answering something before somebody even gets to point out, you're a fool because you're not even answering what they're doing. You're just talking, right? So this is why we want to wait, listen, and also that brings favor. People don't like to be with people that just always, as soon as you say something, they ready to over talk you every time. Like, dang, I can't even say nothing. All right, go ahead. Why don't you just talk then? I guess that's what it is. You just talk. I have to listen, right? You don't want that. Okay. So once again, the Bible teach you these things, right? Teaching the social skills, beloved, social skills. All right, verse 9. Verse 9. Strive not in the matter that concerneth thee not, and sit not in judgment with sinners. All right. So basically, mind your business at times, beloved. Strive not in the matter that concerneth thee not. People are going to bring all kinds of stuff to you. You don't have to be the judge. You don't have to give your input, definitely on these wicked matters. Sometimes a situation is so messy and you think you're bringing something, all you're going to do is it's going to be more mess. Right? Sometimes, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Right? Because when we speak, we should be bringing the light. We should be bringing the judgment. People, we should build such a reputation that people desire to hear our input on things. Well, how are they going to say about this? Okay, they heard this situation, right? Because people bring some, oh, we got this situation, right? And then they bring it to you. What you think? And this is where you'll see the difference, right? Because when you look at church people, I'm saying so-called church people, right? We'll bring certain matters to them. They don't even know all this stuff, and they'll just start going and speaking all these kind of things. Don't even know nothing. But with you, when people asking certain things, right, and they ask you, and you say it like, "Wow, I didn't even think of it like that." Man, I didn't even think. She said she don't know the whole truth. We ain't supposed to judge that. That is Bible. But why would I ask sister so and so? She was saying, don't she go to church? But see how now you don't have to do all this preaching and things like that. This is how you build your reputation. This is how you get people to say that they're different, right? When it comes to gossip, they'll just give me their opinions and be dead off, dead wrong. But when I go to brother so-and-so, sister so-and-so, it's always knowledge that comes from their mouth. It's always wisdom. And they'll desire to talk to somebody that has that kind of wisdom, that provokes that mind. Then they say, man, how'd you get that? You just think so different. See, now you can bring them back to what? Well, this is the Bible. That ain't the Bible. These people read the Bible too. They don't get it like this. No. There's a difference. When you read and study and loving and doing the things of it, you'll get the same thing. And this is how we can what? Be wise and use that to draw people in. Okay? But all we want to talk is we want to put our opinions on everything that's vain. Okay? But I'm saying even things like you have things like politics and these shows and stuff like that, you can still incorporate wisdom when you're dealing with certain things like that, right? So that's all I'm saying. Make sure you're using wisdom. Think of opportunity. How can I use this opportunity, right, to bring wisdom, to bring understanding that could possibly draw somebody, my brother and sister, to the truth. Okay? But don't be quick to just throw out anything because, like I said, people listen to what you're saying. All right? Whether they Judge you, they constantly think about judging or not, they're listening. Okay. So make sure we're not giving them no ammunition. Sit not in the judgment with sinners. Okay, that should be forward. Verse 10, my son, meddle not with many matters, for if thou meddle much, thou should not be innocent. And if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain, neither shall thou escape by fleeing. All right. So when it comes to many matters, don't be, I think scripture says, don't be in, is it many matters? I forgot exactly how they word it. But yes, we shouldn't be in everything. Every time it's a problem, I'm using Brother Kai. Every time there's an issue in the congregation of the church, it's always Brother Kai in it. It's like, why is there every time there's a problem? It's the same denominator, right? And sometimes the person's not the main person in it, but like you either starring it or you a guest appearance. Why are you always involved when there's some kind of chaos or problem going around? If there's murmuring, you always connected to it, right? So this is why we'll say, get out of that. All right. Don't meddle in so many matters. Okay. Because you do, you're not going to be innocent. Even if, I used to think, well, I can hear it and be around it, but I might not put my input on it, right? So I'm good. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just listening to it. Listen to it. However, when people tell the story, do they usually just say, oh, this person was just quiet while we was discussing it? No, what they say, oh, we was talking about brother so-and-so. It was me, Kai, sister so-and-so, right? So that's how they present it. You like, you don't hear that part. They're telling the story. So it's like, oh, he was there. Oh, he was there while this conversation was going on. And you see how now you get kind of caught up in it, even though you weren't in it. All right. You know, sometimes you're not in the fight, you ain't gonna fight, but you want to go and see and watch out and be nosy. And then somebody pulls out that gun and you get shot. Now you ain't innocent. All right. You wasn't totally innocent bystander because you drew yourself to that situation, meddling in it, and you were supposed to be meddling in it. Okay. So and if thou shalt follow after it, thou shalt not obtain, neither shall I escape by fleeing. All right. So you're not going to escape when you're going to get tied up in some of these things. All right. So be mindful of what we're meddling, engaging ourselves into, beloved. Okay. Because a lot of people get caught up in some stuff and it's hard to untangle the web once you're in it. All right. 12. No. 11 and 12. Let me see. All right. We got some work to do. There's one that laboreth and taketh pains and make haste there and is so much the more behind, right? So one's laboring and doing all this stuff, making haste, and they're far behind. Again, there's another that is slow and have need of help, wanting ability and full of poverty. Yet the eye of the Lord looketh upon him for good and set him up from his low estate. All right. So you look at it as like, well, the person that's laboring and doing all this stuff and working hard, and then the other person that's slow, why is he why the Lord looking at him? Okay. And all the time is not because the one that works hard that's going to get elevated or do whatever. It's always in the eyes of what the Most High deems and what he wants to happen. Okay. It's not discouraging anybody for working hard or telling somebody to be slow and lazy. No, not doing that. All right. But the Most High know how to still set things up. All right. So he set him up from his lowest state. So we know how to elevate that person as well. Verse 13, and lift up his head from misery so that many that saw it marveled at him. So he will use these kind of cases to lift them up that people be like, how the heck that happened? I understand why the person that's doing this and labor and all that stuff, I can see how they elevate, but how did this one get so high up? All right. And that's for what? God does that for the glory of him. What we're supposed to do with that opportunity, beloved, is what? Glorify God. See, sometimes we forget. We'll be low, we'll be crying to God, ask God, he'll lift us up. And then when we get lifted up, we forget to what? Give him praise. Right? We don't want to do that. We want to always remember to give God the praise, honor, and glory. If you do it every day, it will be part of your system, be part of your routine. Okay. Verse 14, prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord. He brings it all. There is no thing that can bring it. Okay. Meaning I sign off on it. Okay. Whether you're rich or poor, sign off on it. Whether you live, whether you die, God have to sign off on it. Whether it's poverty or riches, God has to sign off of it, and all come from the Lord. Okay? So this is why when you understand it, if you do go into hard times, you can say, the Lord's suffering it to be. I might not understand it, right? Might not get why I'm going through this, but I know the Lord must signed off for it to be. And when he wants it to stop and he want to change my predicament, he will sign off for it and I'll be lifted up. Now, see, when you're not going through it, it seems good, like, oh yeah, yep, that's true, amen. But when you're going through that low state, sometimes it's hard to bear the words, but this is what we got to strive to bear those words. All right. Put it into practice, but we have to practice. Even when we're good right now, you know, lives might be good and everything. This is where you want to build up and store up your strength. So when the hard times happen, you're not making blasphemous statements and ready to give up on God. All right. Build up your spiritual maturity. When things going well, that's the time to build your strength in God. All right. So when the moments of hardship or affliction happens, you have enough strength and things stored up that you can weather the storm. Verse 15. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord. You get it from the Lord. Love and the way of good works are from him. All right. All these things come from him. So if somebody pray, they might, because you have people that might praise you. Wow, you know a lot. You're wise. You're knowledgeable. Man, you understand the book. Oh my God, you love the good works. We can always say what? Praise the Most High God. Right? Because we have understanding. But anything that's good in me comes from him. Anything that's bad, that's me. That's my flesh, right? So we always want to understand that it's the Most High. All right. And he blesses with wisdom and stuff like that. That ain't nothing wrong to be, you know, proud of, you know, the Most High maturing your understanding and knowledge of the scriptures and of him. But don't get cocky thinking, oh, I read it and that's how I got it. No, he opened up my understanding. I desired him, and his word said that if I desire him, you seek, ye shall find. And I found him. See how he still will get the praise through it. Okay. Verse 16. Error and darkness had their beginning together with sinners, and evil shall wax old with them that glory therein. All right. So error and darkness, how that get incepted, all right, how that come in the scene, that's with sinners. The Most High had light, right? He made us right. But the scripture says we sought out darkness. We sought out these evil inventions. We sought out this destruction, but it was not meant for us. Okay? Most High did not set up saying, you know what, I'm going to do this. I want them to fail. No, no, no. He gave us the tools to succeed. We chose to go another direction. He said, this is the path you got to do. That's what commandments are. This is the path I want you to do. You stay doing this, you'll get life, blessing, all those kind of things will come through this path. We said, you know what? I know this is the only path there, but what happens if I go this way? Right? That's what our flesh do. But what happens if we go this way? Okay? And that's what gets us in the error and darkness. Okay? It's not him doing it. It's us leading to our own understanding and desiring something outside the path that he gave us. All right. But evil shall wax old with them that glory therein. So if you want to stay in that, you want to glorify error and darkness and sin and wickedness, right? Oh, evil's going to wax old with you. That's going to be your glory. You'll be all wrapped in it. Okay. We know the wages of that. 17. The gift of the Lord remaineth with the godly, and his favor bringeth prosperity forever. All right. So our gifts, our blessings, our rewards always with Most High, and it remains what? With the godly. Most High always preserved the godly. He always is bestowing and blessings with so many different things. Okay. And when we get favor from being obedient to his word, right? It says, bring prosperity forever. That's why it says what? Never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging for bread. All right. And still today, we remain righteous, doing what thus saith the Lord, he will take care of us. And I'm talking about even if we lose certain things, we have a rough patch, he'll still take care of it. He'll still weather us through it. Okay? All right. Verse 18. There is that waxeth rich by his weariness and pinching, and this is his, and I can't even read. And this his the portion of his reward. All right. So we see that. So we know this. The next part's going to kind of break it down a little bit. Whereas he saith, I have found rest, and now will eat continually of my goods, and yet he knoweth not what time shall come upon him, and that he must leave those things to others and die. Okay, so Christ actually dealt with something like this, like in a parable, right? He talks about was that a parable? Yeah, I think it's a parable. So he talked about the rich man, and he has so many riches, and he got abundance of riches. He's saying, man, I got so much, I got to build another storage, right? I got to build another account because I'm blessed so much, and I'm making all these plans. And he said, thou fool, right? Fool, because he didn't know. He said, your soul required tonight. You worry about just stacking, but guess what? All that stuff you stacking so you can, prosper everything. He said, your soul gonna be done tonight, so it's all over. Okay. Is this saying you can't save and all that? No, it's not saying nothing like that. All right. But beloved, we always want to make sure we take care of the Lord's business first. All right. Sometimes we get caught up with just trying to get the riches, but the riches is the riches. You can get rich, but there ain't no amount of money that can preserve life. All right. Look at all them that's rich. They died, and that wealth go right to the next person. Okay. So we want to make sure we're understanding this walk in this life. All right. We need, money and things to, deal with everyday living in the society, of course, right? But don't let that be your love and your only focus and your only mission. All right. You're bigger than the substance that you receive, this earthly substance. Right. We are spiritual beings. Okay. We ain't putting our mind just on carnal things. We are spiritual beings. We're putting our thoughts and mind on things above, right? Which what he says, the moth and things don't corrupt. Stuff can rust and corrupt. That money and stuff can rust and corrupt here, right? But we're putting our riches and wealth on things that's incorruptible. All right, cannot be tarnished, does not fade away. Okay, that's our mission. That's where our mind needs to stay. Okay, if we do that, some things can happen if we obtain certain things, substances, just extra blessings on it. Okay, but our focus is on pleasing the Most High God, and whatever comes with it, all these things will be added. That stuff can come with it. All right, but we have to put the first thing first. All right, let's go to what verse we have. Oh, verse 20. Be steadfast in thy covenant, and be conversant therein, and wax old in thy works. All right. So be steadfast in the what? Covenant. All right. Verse therein, wax old in thy work. All right. So you're doing that work, waxing old, getting older in it. Okay. 21. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor. For it is easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich. Okay. So this is very important, beloved. We get caught up. I hear this all the time. We get caught up on the works of sinners. It's very easy to do it. Don't think that, I'm so wicked because I got caught. No, you just have to be mindful of that. All right. We see these sinners doing a lot of things. We looking at them, we see their smiles and all that stuff, and we're like, man, they benefit, they prosper. All right. Don't get caught up on the prosperity of the wicked. All right. We have a beautiful example of that. All right. But trust. What should you do? Instead of marveling at the works of the wicked, trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor. Do what you were assigned to do. One of the biggest, I told you, this is another device of Satan. He will distract you from your work. And that's just as detrimental as not knowing what your job or what you're supposed to be doing. See, we don't realize that. Sometimes like, all right, well, they know they got to serve God and everything, but okay, second best thing is I can distract them. I can't stop what they do. All right, I might not be able to stop them, but if I distract them, it's doing the same thing. This is one of the things where our eyes, we covet, we'll see certain things. And coveting, the one danger people thinking, oh, you're coveting, you're trying to grab something that's not yours, right? And that's the big thing. You're trying to desire something that's not for you. And this was Satan. This is why he glorifies certain things that sinners do, that you'll be caught up on that. You'll be so focusing about something else that you forget what your assignment was, right? You forget what he assigned for you, what he had for you to do. Okay? Don't measure yourself with everybody else. Well, this teacher that's good, and he does it like this, so I gotta try to be exactly like that. Oh, they say when they do it like this, so I gotta be exactly like that. Oh, when they pray like this. No, you figure out the lane that the Most High have for you, and let him mold you into that and glorify, because he gave you something that you can be glorified in that. All right, but don't get what? Don't get caught up with the works of sinners. Okay. And once again, he's saying what? Because he can what? Lift you up. That poor man, he can make a poor man rich. All right. It's a light thing. It's an easy thing for the Most High to do that. That's what I say, ain't no thing. God's seeing it. He can see the condition, and anytime he wants to stop, he can make you go from unemployment to being, highest paid real quick. It's a light thing for him. Okay. But you need to trust in him. Okay, you need to trust in him. Verse 22, the blessing of the Lord is the reward of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing flourish. Okay, so the blessing of the Lord is the what? Reward of the godly. That's what's making it a blessing. I know we receive things, this is a blessing, this is a blessing, blessing. Listen, the blessing, the true blessing, you better make sure you're godly. Because it don't matter what it is. If you ain't godly, it don't matter what you're getting. All right, what makes the blessing is I'm doing what thus saith the Lord, and this is coming from that, right? First, seek ye the kingdom of heaven, all his righteousness, all these things shall be what? Added unto you. That's the blessing. The things is added from you doing your first works, right? And suddenly he maketh his blessing flourish, all right? And you will become it, all right? And this is the thing, you want to be blessed, beloved. Not receive blessings. You want to be blessed, right? Receiving a blessing is somebody got them and they give it to you. But when you're blessed, it's like what they use, like the Midas touch. What you touch start to be, prosper, right? Think of like our forefathers, like Joseph and stuff, right? He was in the jail cell, right? He got elevated, I think, to almost being, high in that, right? And he's starting to do that, and he elevated to now what? All the way to second in, the kingdom, right? He was blessed. Wasn't a blessing that was on him. All right. We want to be the blessed of the Most High, not just receive a blessing, not teach a man how to fish, right? You want to learn how to fish. To be blessed is knowing how to fish. You can receive a blessing by just getting a fish. All right. So that's what we want to, the Most High is teaching us how to what? Be blessed. Okay. Be blessed. All right, let's go to next verse. Verse 23. Say not, what profit is there? Listen to this, beloved. Say not, what profit is there of my service? And what good things shall I have hereafter? Let's look at it, right? That sounds familiar, right? What profit is there? What is the point of what I'm doing? What good things am I going to obtain from what I'm doing? Why am I fasting? Why am I praying? Why am I going to this? Why am I keeping the Sabbath holy? Why am I doing these things? All right, that's why you can't be looking at these sinners, because they sometimes have you thinking, like, what's the point of this? I'm doing all this stuff, and look, they still above me. They still making more money than me. They ain't going through the struggles like me. See, this is why you can't be around these sinners. So you start looking at it. I'm telling you, you need to surround yourself with God-fearing people that's going the same direction as you. Because people will have you distracted. All right. So he says, say not what profit is there of my service, and what good things shall I have hereafter. Don't even utter that. Don't even say it, beloved. Right? Because what you speak, you speak things. They say speak it to existence. That's true, because our voices, our speech has power. So when we utter things out of our mouth, it's like it's almost, I don't want to get all philosophical, but like you're confessing that. It's out in there, right? It's out in the industry, right? So we don't want to even confess things. Even if you think in your mind, don't confess, because that gives it a little more power, right? Your thoughts, your mind is where you filter, you edit whatever, but don't let it utter out of your mouth. That's almost like a sign off, okay? So be mindful what we utter, all right? Make sure you're mindful what you're thinking too. Don't put your mind on certain things, because usually when your mind's on it, you're going to utter it, okay? Next verse, 24. Again, say not, I have enough and possess many things, and what evil shall I have hereafter? You see the point he's making? Not talking about you can't be having abundance of things. He's saying, say not I have enough and possess many things, but the problem is that last part. And what evil shall I have hereafter? Because I got so much substance and things like that, I don't have to worry about nothing. Evil can't touch me. I don't got worried, but you see, poor people got worried about it. They got to be all prayerful and stuff like that, but not me. I got money. Y'all believers y'all gotta pray about everything, every decision, because y'all don't have the money just to make the decision, right? But this is why there's that cockiness is a blinder at times, right? Because you sometimes when you have all this abundance, you feel that you need to acknowledge God, right? Like if we had, beloved, all this money, we wouldn't even acknowledge God. Lord, you want us to be here? You want us to be settled here? Right? You got the money. Oh, yeah, we got the money. Oh, let's just get this one. That'd be fine. Yep, this look good. You don't even consider God. But when things is tight, you be like, Lord, direct my steps. I don't know what I should do, but you just guide it, right? Certain thing. He wants us to acknowledge him. But sometimes when people get blinded by the money or the power and stuff like that, it's like we don't need God. That's why they say religion is a poor man's thing. It's for poor people. They need hope. Religion is for hope. Rich people don't need hope. We obtain, we got. Okay, so this is why the scriptures break that kind of stuff down. And sometimes he has to humble us, right? And some of us, we can't get the breakthrough because what? We still ain't humble, right? We know everything. We think we're going to tell you what we're going to do. We ain't going to submit that. We'll come in that boldness, that cockiness. And the Lord like, okay, I hear you. Okay. And he just gives us more self-distance, puts you through some more anguish, mental anguish, right? You can't find peace and know you're searching for it because he's waiting for what? The humble. Humble yourself. And he said, then what? He will build you up. He works in the humility. Okay, but as long as you trying to stand on that square of yours, right, you're not going to find him. But when you get off and say, Lord, make me over, teach me over, all right, restore my soul because I done went far from you. Teach me how to get back. All right, when we make those kind of prayers in sincerity, then he can start working with us. All right. Let's keep going. Okay, verse 25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. We talked about that. And in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity. So when you're living, when you're good, you got the bones, you got all this kind of stuff, right? You not worrying about what? You forget all about the affliction, all about the struggle sometimes, right? When you get to the mountaintop, you're like, I didn't think about the struggle, right? You're not thinking about that. And the opposite way, when you're going through affliction, you forget about the what? The prosperity. You see, this flesh what happens in all kinds of things, right? If you're not mindful of it. Somebody can be at their highest high, right? God bless you with all this stuff. And as soon as something happened when you don't got it, now you forget all that the Most High giving you, right? You're like, but God bless you with this big old jump, and now you lost it, but now it's like you forgot all about that. You wasn't thanking God and praying when you got off. Now you get to this, it's like, oh, you forget all about the prosperity. And then sometimes when we get lifted up with that prosperity, you know, all about the affliction. We forget how we got there, right? You was praying, you was crying out to God. You said, Lord, if you just bless me, I'll serve you. I'll do whatever you say. I'm going to do your commandments, your laws. I'm going to do it if you just get me out of this predicament. We had those prayers, right? We had those desperate prayers. And what happened? We got out of it and what? A lot of us forgot about God. We forgot about those prayers. If you just do this, if you just turn this around, if you just please, if you heal this person, if you do this, if you prolong them, I'll serve you no matter what. I won't let nobody get in the way. See, God heard when you saying that. See, we'll just say certain things, but God is listening. Oh, okay. And then he healed them and all that stuff. And now you want to go what? You forgot about the value that sent out there. But you sent it out there. And then sometimes there's a collection. All right, you sit that vow out there. If I do this, you'll serve me. You're not gonna make all these excuses. You're gonna serve me. Now we start picking. Well, I said I'll serve you, but I don't know about this one. But see, now you're gonna have all these stipulations. But God heard you, and don't make no vow. They tell you don't be just throwing out vows. Hold you to it. There's going to be a repercussion for it. Okay, let's keep going. All right, verse 26. For it is easy, it's an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. Okay, so we should know that, right? So it's an easy thing to reward somebody. Don't want to be wicked. So don't worry about the wicked. Don't be caught up if they're reaping, if they're doing this. No, I'm telling you, it's so much peace when you get to that state where you're not worried about that. It's a torture when you're looking at them and saying, why ain't they reaping? Don't God see the evil they're doing? God, you're supposed to be striking them down. They should be going through all this stuff. See, you get so caught up on that. And the scripture actually talks about that. That's why he won't do certain things if you caught up in that way, right? However, look at you. Look at the condition you're at. You want him to cast judgment and punish somebody, but guess what? He would need to punish you because you're in the same spirit as them. You're not operating in the spirit of love where the spirit talks about. You trying to wish that, no. If anything, well, if they doing wicked, the Lord sees it. The Lord have mercy. Open their eyes. See, you're not even thinking about the power you can do as somebody righteous. You're so focused on that. All right. But you need peace. For the spirit to do dwell in you, you have to have peace of mind. And without that, you're always going to have that turmoil happening. But when you get to that point, when you really give it to God, you don't even care what they do. That person that used to despise, even if they hit $1 million, it don't affect you. You don't feel no hatred or nothing. Like, okay. Right? It's a certain peace you'll get. But you got to let it go. Got to let it go. Right? It's for your benefit. You have to let it go. Verse 27. The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and in his end his deeds shall be discovered. All right. So you see that the affliction of an hour, all right, a moment of affliction will make you forget pleasure. All right. You won't even remember the good when you're going through that storm. You don't even remember all the highs that the Most High put you through, all the deliverance and miracles. You forget all about that as soon as you go through affliction. Okay. This is human nature. He's bringing out that human nature in his beloved. All right. That fleshly thing. We will do that. Let's keep reading. All right. Yeah, time's there. Verse 28. Judge none blessed before his death, for a man shall be known in his children. All right. So don't be just saying somebody's blessed. He said, look at the aftermath. Because sometimes it might look like they blessed, right? They die, but look at the children. All right. So now you look like, but they really blessed. All right. So he said, don't just be calling everybody blessed. All right. Bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man have many trains. All right. So don't just be welcoming everybody in the house because some people have, different intentions. Like as a partridge taken and kept in a cage, so is the heart of the proud. And like a spy watcheth he for thy fall. All right. Because this deceitful man, they sometimes is waiting for the opportunity. Okay. So they're just waiting for that top opportunity, and then they'll take full advantage of the opportunity. All right. So you don't want to be, connected with those kind of people. Verse 31, for he lieth in wait and turneth good into evil. And in the things worthy of praise will lay blame upon thee. All right. So this is what kind of thing they wait. And the good that you want to do, the good that you're doing, even if it's toward the Most High, they want to make it some evil thing. They want to make it something wrong. And the things worthy of praise. This should be something praiseworthy. But we over there, what? We want to lay blame. We want to put fault on something that can be praised, should be used for praise. Okay. Verse 32. Of a spark of fire, a heap of coals is kindled, and a sinful man layeth wait for blood. All right. All this is a little bit. All I need is a little bit. Take heed of a mischievous man, for he worketh wickedness, lest he bring upon thee a perpetual blot. All right. So we want to make sure we are taking heed of those things. We are having our eyes open, beloved. All right. Everybody that's saying they want God don't mean they want God. All right. There's some people that's going to use these kind of peaceful terms and right words so they can get in and wait for opportunity. Okay. Some of them will probably get in, beloved. Can't stop it all. However, they shouldn't have no power if we're doing the things of the Lord. Okay, right? Like not murmuring, not getting into things, not meddling, not, if we're doing it right, we should be able to, as sheep, we should be able to push that wolf, right? Put him in the corner. And we say, oh, okay, that's the problem. There go that wolf right there. That's the point of these scripture. It will do that. All right, it will manifest that wolf. Verse 34, last verse. Receive a stranger into thy house, and he will disturb thee and turn thee out of thine own. All right. So you got to be mindful who you are welcoming in the house. Okay. And this is even when you look at the spirit and talk about the spirit, Christ will refer to the spirits as, like the devil being in the house, right? Being in your body. Right. When you purge it out, it leave. And then if you let it back in, he'll come in with his friends. So we want to make sure we're not letting anything in our spirit, whether it's what we're listening to, what we're watching, all those things is things that we're welcoming in, like the TV, right? You're welcoming it in to you, all right? But you want to always be prayerful and mindful because sometimes it will seep in and sometimes you don't even realize you've been influenced by it, right? There's some times where I'm looking like, I can tell sometimes by certain mannerisms, oh yeah, you've been watching certain things, right? So that's something that we want to be very, very mindful with, okay? Our response, even in the heat of moments, if you be around people that deal with anger a certain way, right? Because you can get angry. I mean, you can experience that anger, whatever, but how do you deal with it? You see people that always they get upset. Oh my God, Lord, help me. All right. Getting upset, right? Lord, help me. Purge this out of me, right? If you see that all the time, what are you most likely going to do when you experience something? You know what, Lord, you're going to pray, right? But if you're looking at always, sorry, always referencing, right? You look at them house shows, right? Them housewives shows, stuff like that. They get angry, they throw a drink, you be such a. Guess what you do? I can tell from your behavior which one you begin influenced with, right? So when you get angry and you go to that kind of behavior, you need to cut that kind of behavior out of your life and what? Reinforce it with the what? Positive behavior. You need to maybe do some more picking up the book and reading instead of what? That having that much power and weight over you. Okay, beloved? So we control what we're getting in, all right? Make sure we're being mindful of what's coming in. Beloved, it is that time, okay? We are done the chapter, Ecclesiasticus chapter 11, all right? Anybody got anything they wanted to share before we close it out? Of course, you're on YouTube, we cannot see anything if you are putting something, so it's for those that's here online. All right. If that'll be all, so that those that on YouTube online, we say Yada Haba Thumb, which means love you all, and Shalom or Shalom, which means peace.